Tomorrow morning, these terrorists will go to battle. Amongst them is a British man, Thomas Evans.
I said to him that I was worried that he had died, and he said to me, well, I wouldn't be on the phone to you, would I? Because they don't have phones in paradise. How could my son be with these people? What had made him go from this life to that? I asked him how he got into Somalia, and he said, in a car, hiding, covered with a blanket. Allah guided him. I said to him that I can't wait to meet Allah, and he's told me I'll never meet Allah because I'm going to burn in hell. There's like two sides of him. There's my son, and then there's this other person he's become.
What do you want to happen now?
Thomas to walk back through the front door, obviously.
You're going to mug me?
Am I going to mug you?
Is that gorgeous or what, eh?
And I believe I can run a decent marathon.
Download Veely now.
That's a picture that Thomas did when he was about 4. We'd got some glitter paints. And I don't know, I just kept it because I just like the smiley face. It just represents him. And then I've got these ones in here. Oh, being a mum is terrible, look. We did a firework night, that was Michael's and that was Thomas. They were in 97, they did them.
Sally raised both her sons in a non-religious home. But at 19, the elder, Thomas, converted to Islam.
We used to have a lot of fun in the garden with the water, with the paddling pool, and then we had some plastic and we'd made a water slide. Oh, we used to have a lot of fun.
2 years later, Thomas told his mum he was going to Egypt to study Arabic. Instead, he went to Somalia to join the Islamist terror group Al-Shabaab.
If he did come back, more than likely he will go to prison or whatever, and people obviously would have no time for him, which I understand. But I'm his mum, and I'll always have that time for him. Because I'll remember when he was like that.
The only contact Sally has with Thomas now is through intermittent phone calls.
10th of the 5th, 2012. Thomas rang. I asked him if he'd hurt anybody and he didn't answer. And I asked him who put all these ideas into his head. He said Allah. Michael?
Yeah.
Your sandwich is ready.
Okay.
You don't talk to him that often now, do you?
No. Depends what mood he's in.
Yeah, if he's in his preaching mood, you definitely don't want to know.
Yeah.
What is that? You just...
I don't want to hear it. Just, I want to speak to him for being him, not just this idea that's been forced on him that he's now trying to force on me.
And he only ever has his point of view, doesn't he? He doesn't listen to our point of view.
No.
A year after converting, Thomas started to explore the most radical interpretations of Islam.
Spoke to Thomas on the 14th of November 2013. Not a good phone call. We rowed about that shopping mall siege in Kenya. Selfishly, I'm relieved he wasn't involved, but very angry with him because he thinks it's okay to kill and murder innocent men, women and children out shopping.
Al-Shabaab became infamous after the Westgate Mall siege in 2013, when the Al-Qaeda affiliate murdered 67 civilians.
Back out through this door. Yeah, you can.
Couldn't believe that we had this gorgeous little boy between us.
Nearly had me falling headlong into the car, Mark.
We joked because we were going to call him Thomas Evans, I remember thinking, Tommy Evans sounds like a rugby player's name. He'll be a rugby player.
That's me sitting on the car.
Mrs. Evans, you've talked about the departure of your son from the United Kingdom to Somalia. I wonder whether you could tell the committees to start with, before he left, what kind of a young man was he?
Thomas, follow mummy. Hello.
He was a normal teenager, interested in going to the pub on a Saturday night. He was an electrician, which is something he'd always wanted to be. He was just a normal teenage lad.
Poser.
What kind of a shock was it to suddenly realise that your teenage son went off to fight for a terrorist organisation in Africa? How did you cope with that?
That was the biggest shock in the world.
Oh, that's a lovely smile.
If he was listening to you now, what would you be saying to him, Mrs. Evans?
To Thomas. Just come back. It was smaller in there than I thought it was going to be. Because when you watch it on television, it looks a lot larger.
You notice the guy asleep behind us snoring?
Did you hear him snore?
She woke herself up snoring.
Once people have joined militant groups abroad, it's very hard to get them home. Sally hopes that a de-radicalisation expert from a Muslim charity, the Active Change Foundation, can help. What is the basis of recruitment?
To steal your children. End of. There ain't two ways about it. Think about it this way. I go and invest in my child. All my investment goes down the drain because someone comes and gives him an idea.
Sally hopes Mike Jervis may be able to help her bring Thomas back, just as he's helped de-radicalise members of 37 other families.
No matter what they've tried to do to his mindset, I've seen the worst of the worst change. So I'm the one guy that's never going to say give up. There is a way back.
Thomas is the only known white British man to have joined Al-Shabaab.
What we're used to seeing is people from all walks of life, but the minority will be a white person. And it's very strange to see Thomas in this mix. It's strange. That just demonstrates how much of a problem this is. Everybody can be recruited. Take a seat. Need your assistance.
Mike and his team have to come up with strategies to help Sally persuade Thomas back.
So, I'm giving you 2 files. Fatima, the only access that this lady has to her son is he rings her, and so you need to get me an answer as to what she can say on the phone when he calls her. So you need to look at that. The objective is to increase her knowledge and increase her awareness.
"24th of December 2012. Thomas rang. We chatted about everyday things, and then he dropped a bombshell. He's married a young girl last Thursday, 20th of December. She's either 13 or 14, doesn't speak any English, but he's very happy. He gave her family an old cow so he could marry her. But at least he's happy. I wish I could say the same, but I can't. I'm heartbroken for him and for this young girl. She's so young, although I know that's their culture, still doesn't make it right."
Last night, Sally received a rash of phone calls from Somalia, but couldn't understand the caller. Thomas has always said that if he's killed, Sally would get a phone call.
I just couldn't sleep. Every time I go to sleep, I was just thinking about Thomas. What's he doing? Is he alive? Is he dead? There has been 2 suicide bombs in Mogadishu over the weekend, so I don't know.
What's her name?
Suda.
Suda.
Yeah.
Our translator has come to help. Sally believes it may be Thomas's wife who was on the line.
First off, is Thomas all right? I call him Thomas. Okay. She probably calls him Hakim.
Okay. Hakim say okay me hey. Hello? ما مغلسة. أبا وحيد هذا حكيم سيهي. She said he's doing very well. He's fine. Wait.
So why did she ring Friday night? Because she never normally rings.
She says she just wanted to have a chat with you.
Right. But we can't chat. We don't speak the same language. So where's Thomas then?
She's saying that he's off somewhere. He's been gone for 16 days. And she called because she wanted to say hello. Right, okay.
Why did he not say goodbye? Tell her to take care of herself.
God,
I hope you'll be alright. Gosh, I hope you'll be alright.
Yeah?
Hello, Suda.
Sally's son Thomas is out of contact on an al-Shabaab operation, but calls keep coming in from his 14-year-old wife, Suda. Sally wants to know why and find out more about her son's life in Somalia.
Hello, my Maglisa.
Why did she ring? Is she well first, ask her.
Said to her Manta. She says she has it very well. God has blessed them.
She never used to ring when Thomas was around. So why is she ringing now?
Okay, I'll show you. She said since he's been gone, she's wanted a bit of money from you.
No, I'm not sending money. I can't send her money. Thomas has asked me before and I've said I can't send money. Because if I send her money, I'll be in trouble with the police for supporting terrorism. And there's no way am I doing that. Can she not ask al-Shabaab for money to support her?
She said when he goes off to his missions or operations, they don't give her a lot of money because she hasn't got kids.
Right.
So she was hoping that you could support her.
No.
She says she's got her family in Sweden and she says that you guys should talk.
So maybe her mum can send her money then?
Har jag lagt mig på så där har ju Sweden köpt det. Okay, so her mum doesn't approve of the marriage.
Oh, does she not?
No.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She says that in Somalia, if a guy from al-Shabaab comes and proposes to your daughter, you can't reject. I asked why, and she said that's just the way it is.
Oh, really?
So maybe there might have been a bit of fear on her father's side, I don't know.
Could have been, maybe. Just say goodbye and tell her that I do think of her.
Thomas grew up in High Wycombe with his mum, dad and brother Micheal.
Me and Tom's always been really close. He was loving, he was caring. We were always good mates. Always winded each other up, but also there for each other as best mates.
Oh, there you are. Hello, Dad.
Hello.
Robinson Crusoe and Co.
They had a happy and content life together until the boys hit their early teens. Then everything changed.
When my dad left, I was in secondary school, but that was still difficult to cope with.
We were absolutely shattered when he left. I had absolutely no idea it was coming, and I don't think the boys did either.
Hello, look at the camera, Micheal.
For me, it almost seemed like it was always just me, Tom and my mum. When Dad walked out, It was hard on all of us, and it was kind of down to me and Tom to try and get Mum through it all.
Their dad had been working away from home and revealed he had started another family abroad.
You know, my dad screwed us over. He doesn't care about us. He's blocked all communication with us. That's why I'm angry with Tom, because it's kind of like, why are you doing this? You know what Mum went through when Dad left, and you've done the same, and it's much worse what you've done.
Get on that roof, Wiggy.
Thomas and Michael always had the same friends as children, but in his teens, Thomas got involved in petty crime, and the brothers drifted apart.
He's always been very easily influenced by the people he hangs around with. I think he was looking for something, like family.
Initially, Thomas's conversion to Islam seemed to have a positive effect.
He was at a low point, and someone just said, you know, you become a Muslim, we're all your family. Because he always used to say to me that everyone who's a Muslim is his brother. When he changed to this mosque, that's when he got more extreme in his views. That's when he changed. This is where I think it all began.
The Muslim Education Centre in High Wycombe was where members of the 2006 liquid bomb plot worshipped, though the mosque authorities deny radicalisation took place there.
November 2012, Thomas rang. He said that he'd had a go at driving again, which felt really strange because he hadn't driven for ages. But the roads were awful, very large holes and big puddles. He told me that I'd been a good mum, but I disagreed because I said to him if I'd been any good he wouldn't have run away like that and done what he's done.
Sally's only hope of seeing Thomas again is to persuade him home during their phone calls.
Hiya.
Mike at the Active Change Foundation hopes to help her do this.
Could I have done more to have stopped him?
I can understand why you wish you could have done something more, but the doing isn't over. There are still things that we can do. Going forward, we know we still got contact with your son.
Yeah.
What we're hoping to do is construct a number of narratives for you to use going forward. It's a toolkit based on an emotional anchor or a psychological anchor with the focus of getting him back here, of him stopping and coming back here.
The first step is to map out how Thomas was recruited.
There's two events, event number 1 and event number 2, which create some sort of trauma, where Michael and Thomas experience. Could be separation, could be anything like that.
The breakup of my marriage obviously had a huge impact on them.
But they share that experience. Further along down the line, event number 2 occurs, where it's only Thomas and a distant person.
Thomas met this girl and he was passionately in love with her. They were in love with each other, but just things went wrong and it broke up. And he was devastated. They both were.
Now he's searching. This is the searching phase. We move on to Mosque 1. So then this is the slippery slope to Mosque 2. It could be the people within the institution, might not be the institution itself.
Yeah, the people who attend,
Yeah. All right. Now, we know there's a third event, employment and stuff like that. So we have to look at that. That's a potential issue for me, for us. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because when he became a Muslim and he grew a beard, he lost his job. Because he could no longer be employed because of his appearance. And not only of his appearance as well, it was his attitude had changed.
So now he's properly peed.
Yeah.
Because that's the one example that if I dress as a Muslim and try to act as a Muslim, I'm going to lose employment as a Muslim.
Yeah.
Yeah? Not good. That's the third vulnerability factor, because now I've got no employment and now I've got a grievance.
Yeah.
What happens then?
He had another job straight away, more or less.
Okay. How did he get that job?
He told me through the mosque. It was someone he knew through the mosque.
Somebody from Islam gives him a job.
Yeah.
Lost one with you, get one with you.
Yeah.
I'm signed up.
I suppose actually him losing his job played to their strengths a little bit, didn't it?
A lot of little things make the accumulative effect.
Yeah.
Yeah?
After Thomas's beliefs hardened, he became very secretive, so little is known about the details of his recruitment.
Something more has got to be put in the equation to move him from this comfort zone to this situation.
Right.
We don't know what that is.
The new company Thomas worked for also had links to jihadis, who are now senior members of ISIS.
In that searching mode, you meet somebody, and they may have been the catalyst that moved him from there to there. We don't know. We don't know. But we know your boy was a vulnerable boy. We've already established it. 1, 2, 3 events. And then there's a process of people getting involved in your life, your son's business that you did not invite them in on. Yeah. I didn't hear in all of this conversation. I sent an invite out to this boy for him to come and recruit my boy to go down to somewhere else. Never heard none of that in the conversation. So why should you be the victim when your vulnerable son gets mugged off by these people?
Yeah.
8 men have gone from High Wycombe to fight jihad in the years since Thomas left.
If they got your boy, they got more.
Yeah. And if it worked well for like mine, it'll work well for others, won't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Six months before joining Al-Shabaab, Thomas went to Gaza. Amateur footage exists of his journey, showing his commitment to supporting his Muslim brothers.
Let's go effing mental! Let's go effing mental! Na 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 na.
The aid convoy has no known links to extremism. But Mike believes Thomas was already in the process of being radicalised by others.
Say something to the camera, Abdul
Hakim.
So not to.
At that point in time, he was under the control of somebody.
Say something to the camera,
So you think at this point he's already recruited?
Yeah, well, he's definitely on the pathways, because there is no other logical rationale as to why someone can tell a big boy like Thomas not to talk on camera, and Thomas complies. If you want access to my network, we have to know that you can comply with certain requests and certain tasks, and this is a very simple task: do not talk. And he complied. So we don't know what else was going on behind the doors. The chances of getting out once the machine is in place, you have to be a very strong person. And the reason why you were chosen is because you're not that strong person.
Right, so we're trying that number in Sweden again.
Sally wants to speak to Mariam, the mother of Thomas's teenage wife in Somalia.
It's ringing.
She hopes Mariam can tell her more about her son's involvement with Al-Shabaab.
Is she Suda's mum?
Hooyada Suda miyaa tahay? She said yes, I am.
Is she?
She said yeah.
Oh. How is she?
See tahay? Hooyada waxay ku weydiisay, Sally waxay ku weydiisay see tahay? She says I'm very well.
How did she feel about the marriage?
Habar maxaa adiga markay Abdul Hakim iyo Sauda isguursadeen? She says, you know, if she wants to marry somebody, what can I do about it? She said she was out one day in the market shopping, and she had heard a rumour that Al-Shabaab were inviting her children to go to training camps, and she was against the idea, and she made that clear. And she said that as a result, they shot her in the face. And she says, if you saw me, you'd be very shocked. She said, my eye is missing, and I don't want my daughter to live in an environment like that.
I'm so sorry that my son is in her life, in her daughter's life. I'm really sorry. Tell her how sorry I am.
حورير. هلو حورير. ها سالي عادي وحنتها حقو دعي عرضها كو دعي. صح وش هي؟ She said these kids, they're brainwashed.
Yes.
Thomas has been brainwashed just as my daughter has been brainwashed. So she's not blaming you.
I'm not proud that Thomas is with Al-Shabaab. I'm ashamed of him. But he's still my son. And I'm sorry for the situation that she is in.
Hello. How are you? Hello. Hi, how are you? She says you are her sister and you're both victims in this situation. Somalia's in flames. She's hurt, you're hurt.
I suppose we share the same thing, that we're both heartbroken by our children and their choices. And I'm really sorry for that.
In the weeks after Sally's conversation with Mariam, Al-Shabaab increased their activities in Kenya.
Questions about security are being asked in Kenya after Islamist militants killed 147 people, mostly Christian students, at a university college in Garissa near the border with Somalia. The Somali-based Islamist group Al-Shabaab
67 people were murdered, and this week's even more bloody assault on the university, at least 147 people dead, most of them Christian students. The terrorists of Al-Shabaab seem to be able to kill at random.
What was your initial fear?
That Thomas was involved in it. That Thomas would think that that's the right thing to do. To go in and just shoot people randomly because they don't follow your religion.
Do you have any idea what Thomas is doing at the moment?
I've absolutely no idea what he's doing at the moment.
Kenya's Principal Secretary for Interior Security, Monica Juma, said Al-Shabaab threatened the entire country.
We have received very specific threats from many strategic
The reason Kenya sent its troops into Somalia in 2011 was to hold back Al-Shabaab and prevent...
The more I find out about Al-Shabaab, the harder it is to understand how Thomas has gone down this path. You go out with friends and it's like they don't want to mention it because they don't want to upset you. I suppose it's difficult because they don't know what to say or what to do. And I don't really know what I want them to say or do anyway. If he died, in one way I suppose, oh God forgive me, it would be easier because then I know that he couldn't hurt anybody else. But no, it wouldn't be easier because my son would be gone. But then I guess my son has gone anyway. Michael just seems to think that Thomas has gone, that's it, move on, put it behind you. But I can't do that as a mum. I wish I could, but I can't. One of the last times we came up here was when we had there was that rope swing. Remember we played on that? There's that little bit inside of me that hopes that maybe one day he'll change his mind.
I suppose for me it's just, I kind of treat it like when Dad walked out, he's gone and that's it, move on from it. That's the kind of same way I'm trying to deal with this.
And now you're stuck with me on your own. It's him. Yeah. It's him. And the picture of him, he looks so skinny.
"4 years and 4 days after she last saw her son, Sally has received the phone call she's been dreading. A photograph is circulating on social media of a dead Al-Shabaab fighter.
Hearing as well that forensic tests are expected to confirm that a British man was among the 11 Al-Shabaab fighters who've been killed during an attack in Kenya over the weekend. One of the 2 white men identified among the gunmen is believed to be Thomas Evans, who's a convert.
ITV News.
A counter-terrorism police officer has joined Sally and Micheal to support them.
She's not making any comment at the moment.
No, okay. Can I leave my card?
Yeah,
Should
that's
she
fine.
change her mind?
Hello? Actually, at the moment, I have got no comment to make.
Hello there.
Hi there, I'm sorry to trouble you. My name's Andrew, I work for the Bucks Free Press.
Right.
I've just been...
Ed.
Are you alright?
Nice to see you, Sonny.
Thomas's childhood best friend heard the news on his way to work.
You could see it happening, I suppose, but it's also a shock when it actually
But
comes around.
yeah, you don't think it's going to happen, do you?
No, of course not. No.
I'll give her your card, and if she wants to contact you, she will. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I remember you did have photos of him in the puddle. Yeah, I remember you showing it to me. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I can't believe he's gone. It's that old cliche, isn't it? You should go before your children. Hello? No, not at the moment, there isn't. Thank you. Fuck off. Can I say that?
Yeah. No.
Ed, thank you very much
No.
for coming round.
No, of course.
I'll be in touch.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. I didn't imagine to feel so empty, so lost, so overwhelmingly sad. There's nothing I can do to make it any better. He's gone. I'm hurt, but I'm angry at him too. Angry that he's done this to himself.
If the Kenyans say that they are happy to bury him over there, is that what you want to happen, or do you want him to come back here?
I've thought of this day coming up, but I'd never thought about that. He did say he'd never come back to this country. I don't know what to do.
Mrs. Evans?
Yes.
I'm Gordon from the BBC.
Hiya.
Very nice
Hello
of you.
there.
Thank you for inviting me in. I know
That's
it's a
all right.
difficult day. Thank you for seeing me.
That's okay.
How will you remember him?
That's my son. That's the little boy who had a bright future.
It's hard, isn't it? Because we remember him for being, my brother, your son. But to everyone else, he's just a terrorist, and they don't have the good memories that we have of him, do they?
No.
Good evening and welcome to the BBC's News at 6.
The mother of a British man killed last night in Kenya after going there to fight with Islamic extremists has told the BBC how her world fell apart when she heard the news. In an exclusive interview, Sally Evans says she...
I remember once having a phone call with him, and there was a full moon. And when he lived at home, we used to sit out here in the dark and watch the shooting stars. And I remember it was one of the big moons that you get in the summer, a full moon, and saying to him, "Have you seen the moon? Like, look at the moon." And I was thinking, he's looking at the moon and I can see the same moon. That was one thing we could share, even though we were so far apart, was the moon.
Thomas's death has also brought to light al-Shabaab videos featuring his group of fighters, including one filmed the day before he was killed.
There's Thomas there. I suspect that a lot of this stuff is saying goodbye, because no one knows what's going to happen in about half an hour. At the crux of it is they don't really mind. In their mindset, if we die, we know where we're going.
Mike also has eyewitness reports of Thomas's activities.
The attackers came and started to open the door. It was locked from the inside and they had to shoot and break it. According to the documents, the cameraman is Thomas.
Sally needs to know the truth at the very beginning. She has to grieve about this situation. It is best at this point in time for her to grieve fully.
At dawn on June the 14th, 2015, Thomas was filming his group of al-Shabaab fighters advancing to attack an army camp. But the Kenyan Defence Force knew they were coming. And Thomas is shot and killed by a sniper. In the days and weeks after, condolences pour into Sally's home, people wanting to remember Thomas. But Sally has heard nothing from Somalia and is concerned for Thomas's wife, Suda.
Okay. She says, I'm happy. He's died as a martyr fighting for what he believes in, and I believe that he's in paradise, and I'm really happy for him. I'm happy about it.
Could you just thank her for when she was with Hakim and wish her well? And I don't share her sentiments, obviously.
Suda, Hakim hooyadiis waxay kugu dhahday waa mahadsan tahay inaa wiilkeedii ilaalisay oo la degnayd. She's a bit confused. She said, so what's going on? Is his mother not happy? Is she angry?
Yes, I am angry, tell her.
She's asking me, is his mum an old lady?
No. I am in comparison to her, yes.
That's how they refer to the elders.
Yeah, yeah.
She says, you shouldn't think this way. You should think that your son is in heaven and he's joyful in heaven, and in heaven he's explaining to people.
He'll be burning in hell for what he's done.
Mike has come to talk to Sally about witness statements from a massacre in Kenya last year. He believes it's important she knows the truth about the attack.
Am I welcome?
Welcome. Hiya. How are you?
I'm fine, darling. How are you? Really nice to see you.
Over a 3-week period, more than 90 people were killed by a marauding band of al-Shabaab terrorists.
This particular detail is coming from eyewitnesses, people who were actually there, yeah? And the reason why it would be important for you to digest it is that you need to know, because we have to prepare you for everything. Do you want to read it?
I'll read it.
Yeah. At home with our husbands and the family members. We heard the gunshots and the houses burning before the attackers came to our building. The attackers came to our rooms and were beating us and taking all our husbands outside. When we got outside, we saw one white man. He was smiling at us and telling us, now we've got your men, we will kill them in pain while you women watch them dying. He spoke in good English. They put our husbands on the ground and the white man removed his big knife from his chest and started to slaughter them one by one.
This is awful, isn't it?
Then he removed the camera and filmed them being shot. The attackers tied the man's hand and then the white man slaughtered the man in front of him using the knife. Then the white man took Then the white man took the small baby and looked to see if it was a boy or girl. The white man said, she's a girl, let's not kill her.
I don't really know what to say. To be honest. I suppose it's better I know, because that was my son and I have to deal with that.
Someone who's my own flesh and blood has done that to other people, and I just can't understand how he would have done it. And no matter what anyone says, you know, it's not your fault or whatever, you always have some kind of guilt and you always blame yourself.
Said he'd ring again, maybe tomorrow or Monday. Said our goodbyes, told me he loved me, and I love him. Oh, do you know what, Mike? You look lovely.
I do.
You really do. All right, I'm going to give you a hug because I'm really proud of you. I am. Hello. Sorry you've been waiting for so long.
2 months on from Thomas's death, Sally has decided to use her experience to fight radicalisation.
So we meet here. A very warm round of applause to Sally Evans. Come on.
This evening, she's attending a fundraising event for a counter-extremism foundation to tell her story publicly for the first time.
Hello, everyone. Imagine discovering the death of your child on Twitter and being both devastated and relieved at the same time. Devastated because the child you brought into this world was killed after being brainwashed into pursuing a murderous cause. But relieved because the death of your child meant that he could no longer harm innocent people. During the days and weeks that followed Thomas's death, I would reflect on the time I was holding him in my arms, seconds after he was born, and whispering his name into his ears. Tommy Evans, Tommy Evans. I I often ask myself how my son Thomas went from being a sweet boy full of energy and humour and cute mischief to becoming a senior member of the terrorist group Al-Shabaab. But I stopped asking myself the question when I discovered how toxic and venomous and deadly Islamist radicalisation can be, because it doesn't only destroy the lives of the young men and women who are struck by its spell, but it also indirectly devastates the lives of the parents and siblings of such radicalised men and women. I don't claim to be an expert on extremism and radicalisation, but I am no longer going to suffer in silence and isolation, because that would be playing into the hands of the recruiters. I once thought that no one cared for what families of terrorists go through, but I was wrong, because society does care. And I hope that my story serves as a footstep towards stamping out the threat of Islamic radicalisation. Thank you.